A young man's gift forever connects him to Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who joins us now. Back in April 2019, Minister LeBlanc was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a rare and very aggressive form of cancer. Took him off the campaign trail during that year's elections, out of the House of Commons until early 2020. He desperately needed a stem cell donor. It's almost impossible to find a match, but suddenly he got one. A young man named Jonathan Keel, who lived in a small town in Germany. Why did he do it? How did this match happen? Well, in a kind of remarkable moment, Jonathan Keel has come to Canada to meet Mr. LeBlanc for the first time, and they are on set with me. First of all, welcome back. And I've heard about you since Minister LeBlanc, and we all are so happy that you're recovered. Thank you for being here, and this is a remarkable meeting. Why did you decide, like, how did this happen, and how did you decide to be a donor?
Yeah, so there was this event at my old school where everybody registered, no, not everybody, but most of them. So I was put in that data register, and yeah, the German register connects international. So some times later, they matched with Dominic's data. So then we were a match. You could say that.
So you do it in high school. And like when it's a match, then this is suddenly becomes like, oh, I'm in high school, this will never happen, to something real. What did it take? Like it's not an easy process, is it, Jonathan?
Well, it's actually pretty easy. So
okay.
All I did was, taking a few injections, shots, you could say that, which would multiply the stem cells in my blood. And it was a process of about only 8 days.
Wow.
And after that, I donated the blood, including my stem cells.
Yeah.
It went the same evening to Canada, and he received them.
Okay, this is amazing. I remember you were, I mean, let's be candid. I mean, no politics in health. You could have died.
Oh, not I could have, I would have died. The doctors in New Brunswick and in Montreal, Evan, had said to me, and I remember we spoke during that period as well, I was in a very tight spot. The chemotherapies had to work to beat the disease into a state of remission where I could accept the stem cell transplant. But if they hadn't found the perfect genetic match with the same blood type, and it was this remarkable young man in Germany. The Montreal doctors saw him in the German database, and Jonathan accepted. I absolutely wouldn't have seen the fall of 2019 at all.
What was it? First of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what you've done is remarkable. What was it like when you two finally met?
Well, it was amazing. For my part, I didn't know who it was until 2 years later I received the information from the German register. And I Googled up the name and, well, holds of articles.
Good ones? Or?
Good ones, but many about his health.
Of course.
Beating cancer, yeah. And yeah, I was really shocked, you could say that, seeing what person it was, but also I'm really glad that it worked out that well.
What was it like when what do you do to someone? You just met the man that saved your life, Dom.
Totally.
What is it? What happened?
Evan, it's very emotional. I mean, Jonathan and I went for dinner last night in Ottawa. As soon as I got the information on who he was with his email and his phone number and his address, and it was his date of birth that surprised me, 1999, when Jonathan was born, I wrote him a very personal message, obviously. We translated it into German. I didn't know if he spoke English as well as he does. Then we had a number of meetings before Christmas, video meetings and so on. It was the Omicron wave, and we were hoping to have him come to Canada, but he arrived in Ottawa last night. And it's fantastic. We've got a busy week this week. We saw the Prime Minister today for 20 minutes in his office, but I'm particularly excited because he's coming to New Brunswick with me on Thursday.
Nice.
And we're going to go to Salmon River. We're going to go fishing.
Oh my God! But like at the airport, was there a hug? Like it was.
Of course there was.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, what has it been like for you? Like you've saved someone's life. This is something that is a gift. That it's a miracle. What has it meant to you and your family and friends? Like, are people kind of like, this is remarkable, Jonathan?
Yeah, a lot of people told me that, but personally for me it's such huge relief that worked in the end, and it's life-changing and for the better, and that's really, really good for me. So
Can you just tell our listeners how to do, like, I think we should encourage people. Like, you saved the life of a stranger in Canada. You could save a life from someone you've never heard of, folks. How easy was the process? I think we should talk about
the
that.
process was really easy.
Like, how do you
and
sign up to do it?
Yeah, so I just actually spit in a little container, you could say that. And that is everything you need to do to register your data. So there's no pain, no blood example, not anything like that. And it's just a simple opportunity to save a life. So I can only recommend that.
Any word to Jonathan for us? Like, this is your first interview together. I've been looking forward to this for years. I mean it. Anything to say?
Well, Evan, it's a bit emotional 24 hours for me since Jonathan arrived in Ottawa. It's fun for him to be able to tell the story to Canadians on your show. It's if you think about it, an anonymous donation, and many transplants, of course, have the tragic context of somebody dying and then a solid organ is transplanted, but this is a living transplant.
Right.
So Jonathan was able to do this remarkable thing, which saved my life, and you can imagine how grateful I am and my family and my friends. But at the same time, he's able to see himself, how he saved a life and what it means to my friends and to my family. And the Montreal doctors told me that's the difference between a living transplant. The stem cells he gave me, Jonathan and I have exactly, Evan, the same blood and immune system. If you took a vial of his blood and a vial of my blood, it's identical.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great story. And I mean it. First of all, thank you. You've inspired us. Welcome to Canada. I know the minister's going to show you a great time and meet all the politicians, no matter what political stripe. I know you're wearing a blue tie there, so I can see already. You guys, this is nonpartisan.
Evan's wearing a red tie, Jonathan, and that would be very unusual because he's normally not nice to us.
I'm always wearing a blue tie. But honestly, Dom, thank you, Minister. This is a great story, and I hope you keep telling it around Canada. Thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your time here, and I'm getting a little emotional. We really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.